Cults, secretive, often disturbing communities that have fascinated and horrified the world for centuries. Some promise enlightenment, while others lurk in the shadows with terrifying and dangerous intentions. Today, we're delving into the world of the occult and the bizarre to explore some of the most haunted, notorious, and dangerous cults in history. Let's start by defining what a cult is. Generally, a cult is a group of people led by a charismatic figure who demands extreme devotion, often with beliefs that are secretive and sometimes dangerous. While not all cults are violent, some can manipulate their members to extremes of faith, isolation, and sometimes horrific actions. Today, we'll look at 5 of the most infamous cults in history. These are groups whose legacies remain steeped in mystery, horror, and even haunting tales. Cult number 5, the movement for the restoration of the 10 Commandments of God. Our countdown begins with one of the lesser-known but deadliest cults in history, the movement for the restoration of the 10 Commandments of God in Uganda. Founded in the late 1980s by Credonia Mwerinde and Joseph Kibwetir, this cult claimed to follow the Virgin Mary's messages, predicting the end of the world by the year 2000. Members lived in silence, were encouraged to fast, and dedicated themselves fully to these apocalyptic beliefs. Followers believed they'd be spared from hell by adhering strictly to the 10 Commandments under Kibwetir's divine leadership. However, when the world didn't end as prophesied, some followers started to lose faith and question the leaders. Fearing they'd be exposed, Kibwetir and Mwerinde organized what they called a purification, which turned out to be a mass killing. In 2000, over 700 members were locked inside their church and perished in a massive fire. The church and surrounding areas are said to be haunted by the spirits of the victims, with locals reporting sounds of chanting and weeping. Cult 4, Aum Shino. Next, we have Aum Shino, a Japanese cult that gained infamy for its horrifying subway attack in 1995. Founded by Shoko Asahara in the late 1980s, Aum Shino started as a spiritual group blending Buddhist and Hindu teachings. Asahara claimed he was Christ reincarnated and promised his followers salvation from a coming Armageddon. The group gained thousands of members, including highly educated scientists and engineers, which allowed it to build a powerful and secretive inner circle. Asahara's teachings turned darker over time. He promoted an apocalyptic vision where only cult members would survive, urging followers to eliminate those he saw as obstacles. This led to one of Japan's most shocking acts of terrorism, the 1995 Tokyo subway sarin gas attack, which killed 13 people and injured over 1,000. The cult's abandoned compounds, once filled with weapons and chemical labs, are now said to be haunted. Investigators have reported strange sounds and feelings of being watched at these sites. Cult 3, the People's Temple. Our third cult is perhaps one of the most tragic and well-documented cases in history, the People's Temple led by Jim Jones. Jim Jones began his journey as a charismatic preacher in the 1950s, preaching racial equality and social justice. He attracted thousands to his cause, promising a utopian society free from oppression. However, as his power grew, so did his paranoia. Fearing government intervention, Jones moved his followers to a remote settlement in Guyana called Jonestown. Isolated from the outside world, Jonestown soon became a place of fear and control. Members faced strict rules, long hours of forced labor, and public punishment for disobedience. When a U.S. congressman visited Jonestown to investigate in 1978, Jones ordered his followers to kill him and his team. Hours later, he led his followers in a mass murder-suicide, using a cyanide-laced drink. Over 900 people perished. The haunting legacy of Jonestown lives on, with those who visit the site reporting an overwhelming sense of sorrow and dread, as though the souls of those who perished are still present. Cult 2, Order of the Solar Temple. At number 2 is the mysterious Order of the Solar Temple. Founded in the 1980s by Joseph D. Mambro and Luke Jurett, this cult combined New Age beliefs with medieval Templar mysticism and apocalyptic prophecy. Members were convinced that they would achieve enlightenment and ascend to a higher plane by leaving this world. D. Mambro and Jurett built a loyal following, recruiting wealthy and influential individuals from Switzerland, France, and Canada. Things took a dark turn in 1994 when several high-ranking members, including children, were found dead in what appeared to be ritualistic murders. DiMambro and Jurett staged these deaths as transitions to the afterlife. In total, over 70 people were found dead in fire-related incidents orchestrated by the leaders. Some of the cult's meeting places are said to be haunted, with visitors reporting eerie feelings, strange symbols appearing on walls, and whispers echoing in empty rooms. Cult 1: The Manson Family. Finally, at number 1, we have the Manson family. Charles Manson is perhaps one of the most infamous cult leaders in history, known for his persuasive power and ability to control his followers' minds. In the late 1960s, Manson formed a cult-like family around him in California, consisting mainly of young women whom he convinced of his prophetic powers. Manson preached a violent ideology he called helter-skelter, derived from a twisted interpretation of a Beatles song. Convinced of an impending race war, Manson manipulated his followers into committing gruesome murders, including the brutal killing of actress Sharon Tate and her friends in 1969. These killings shocked the nation and left a lasting mark on Hollywood history. To this day, the sites of the Manson murders are said to be haunted by those who lost their lives in horrific ways, with visitors reporting strange noises, shadowy figures, and an oppressive energy in these locations. The stories of these cults reveal humanity's darkest instincts, the terrifying power of manipulation, and the dangers of blind loyalty. We're drawn to their stories because they serve as chilling reminders of what can happen when individuals surrender their will to a single leader or belief system. So next time you hear of a haunted place, remember the tragic and twisted histories that may still linger there. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the most haunted and dangerous cults. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay updated on our future deep dives into the world's most mysterious and terrifying stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.